yeah. Welcome to the podcast, Stop Crying Poser, greatest podcast known to man, as voted by everyone who chose to tune in live here today. Who do we have? Day Day, Love My Toe, I Blast You, Infamy, Meatball Head, Paul Miranda, Roll Fast Joe, Day Day, Venus, Day Day, Love My Toe, Support the Farts, Late Bloomer, Paul Miranda. Really only 5 or 6 people here. I don't know how many names I just named, but I'm sure I said a couple of you guys 2 or 3 times. Today is Friday. We do this podcast every single Friday right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. It is 3:48, which means we are only 18 minutes late, and we do this podcast on twitch.tv/Ninja Lifestyle. I'm full of energy today, although I am a little bit tired. I just woke up a little while ago. I woke up, this happens all the time. I wake up at like 9 a.m. I wake up, I can't sleep at all. Okay, so I go, I eat a snack, I take a shit, and then I read my comments, I mess around for an hour or two. Then I go back to sleep, and I fall back to sleep instantly. And then the next time I wake up, I'm super, super tired. So I figured I would tell you guys about my dream that I had during my 1-hour nap. And I don't know what the context was, but there was a dog, a bigger, more rounder dog, like a big bulldog, was biting my dog. And it had its mouth like around my dog's neck. My dog was dying. So I'm yelling at everyone in and around my house because there's like a party going on. There's party people in my house. There's people in the backyard drinking. And they're just watching my dog die. And I'm like, fucking, can someone help? Can anyone do something? Can someone fucking help me? No one's helping. Everyone's ignoring me, just watching my dog die. So I grab the fucking dog that's killing my dog. I start choking it out. And it lets go, kind of. And then I'm like, okay, well, as soon as I let go of this dog and it wakes up, it's going to bite me or go back to my dog. So I'm yelling at everyone. I'm like, open the door. Let me put this dog outside so at least we can create some separation. Can someone fucking help me? I'm screaming. And this goes on for minutes. This goes on for like 10 straight minutes. I'm suffocating this dog, and I'm like, well, now it's gonna die, and I don't want to kill a dog. And I'm just looking around like, please, can someone help me to not kill this dog and just let it outside so all the dogs can remain alive? And no one would help me. And I was screaming so much for someone to help me, to at least to simply open the door, which that would takes no effort. Just open the door. I'll even close it. You don't even have to do the 2-step process of opening and closing a door. And no one would help me, and I'm losing my voice screaming, and then I wake up. And that was the whole dream. What do you guys think it means? I don't know. I know you guys sometimes make me laugh with your crazy theories as to what these dreams could mean. But that's what's kind of on my mind right now. Late Bloomer says, I'm supposed to put a finger up its ass. Okay, this was a horror dream. A scary dream, not a sexual dream, okay? I know what you want to happen when you bite someone, but no, this was a scary dream. My dog was dying. It wasn't a sexual dream. It wasn't a happy dream. They're just subconscious fears and desires. What part of that was desirable? There was none of that dream was desirable. Anyways, what else has been going on? Earlier in this week, I think it would have been maybe on Thursday, I drank too much on Wednesday. Every single week I tell you guys the same stories. Like, oh, I drank too much last week, I drank too much, whatever. I know the story's getting old, but I did. I drank too much on Wednesday. So then on Thursday, I'm tired, I'm anxious, I have weird anxiety, and all I want to do is eat unhealthy foods. I want to just pig out. So oftentimes when that happens, I know I'm going to stream on those days. Thursday is one of my go-to stream days. By the way, I stream on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. I rarely miss those days. Sometimes I do, but it's very rare. So if you guys want to tune in for those streams, they are very fun. The theme was, I was like, okay, I weighed myself when I woke up. I was 155 pounds, which means I was very dehydrated, and I was really hungry. So I make the title of my stream, Can I Gain 5 Pounds? So I went to the taco shop, Roberto's Taco Shop. I got 3 roll tacos, refried beans, rice, and then another big plate of carne asada fries, which is like fries, sour cream, guacamole, carne asada, so like, sliced beef, or not sliced, but chopped up beef, and then sauces and shit. And I ate the whole fucking thing. I ate all of that on stream. I for sure devoured like 3,000 calories live on Twitch. And then I drank a bunch of waters, and I in fact gained, I think the final weight was 6.2 pounds. A lot of people said it couldn't be done. I wrote that on Twitter, and one of the first responses was, how is that possible? I think it's because they forgot. They forgot about the water. And then a lot of other people were like, why would you do that? Why do you want to gain weight so bad? First off, I can't even have a fun thing ever. Like, I can't do anything fun online without one person like not getting it. I'm not desperately trying to gain weight. It was just a funny way for me to explain, like, oh, I'm gonna drink a lot of water right now, and I'm gonna eat a bunch of unhealthy food. Let me turn this into a fun like theme for the stream. And everyone's like, that's not good for you. What do you mean? There's a better way to gain weight. Like, okay, listen, I know, I understand that. This is that thing we used to do all the time. Fun. You guys remember, what was it? I think it's called Internship. And it's about like these old guys that try to intern at Google. And the one guy's like, are we having fun? He had no idea what fun was. I feel like I read comments sometimes, and I don't know if anyone understands what fun even is. You know what fun is to me? Sometimes late at night, even though I have a perfectly good toilet, I go outside and I shit in the backyard. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I do. Now that's a party. I was gonna say I go out there and I pee, which that is actually a true story. Anyways, speaking of the stream, this week we did a stream where where I did meal prep, and for the first time ever in my life, I made beans. That didn't come from a can. I made beans from like a bag, which, by the way, no one tells you they take fucking 3 hours. No one tells you how long beans take to make. You look at, first off, I'm looking at these beans as far as like, I look at the price of the beans in the bag. They're dried beans. I look at the price compared to the can. I go, oh man, I could save money on this. Fuck, all I gotta do is heat these up and get them wet, and they're good to go. No, it's not cost efficient, because I'm going to keep my fucking stove on for 3 goddamn hours, just draining my power bill. Stove is not cheap. The stove, the heater, the fucking, the washer and dryer, or the dryer mostly. Anything that creates heat, I think takes a lot of energy, right? That's why they say try not to drop the toaster in the bathtub. Is that something that we still tell people not to do? First off, why is there a toaster by your bathtub? You don't need toast at that time. At most, you need some bubble bath, some Epsom salt, maybe a candle, and maybe a rubber duck that floats that you can look at, and maybe a symphony, like a music, like a wireless Bluetooth speaker that's not connected to a toaster. Then again, I have been making sandwiches lately. I've been making these pepperoni and turkey sandwiches. I told you guys I discovered mayonnaise, and although you would think I would be using mayonnaise as a regular like condiment, oh no, I just put the mayo on both sides of the bread, and then drop the bread onto a hot pan, and then the mayo gets hot, and then it turns like golden brown, sometimes even black, and then you're like, yeah, boy, it's pretty good. I think it's better than butter. In fact, I've become a mayo-holic. Which is funny, because I spent all this time saying, like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I gotta get the right stuff. Fucking mayonnaise is gross, because I thought all mayonnaise was considered a Miracle Whip. Anyways, I'm making those beans. I think it's gonna be a fast little stream, right? I turn on my cooking camera, my IRL streaming setup. I start making the beans. I'm like, oh, these beans have been going for an hour. They should be done any minute now. No, they took forever. And I've since learned that there's something called soaking the beans. You're supposed to soak the beans. You don't have to, but you can soak the beans. Completely different from how Mormons soak. You do not want to do that with the beans if you're going to be serving this for meal prep or to a friend. If you know, you know. So anyways, we eventually got the beans made. They turned out fine. Also, something I did with the beans that was not like on the schedule. I drained the bean water. I drained the bean water out of it. It should have kept the bean water. And actually, now that I think about it, I actually think I kept that bean water to use later, and I never used it. So I think there's actually a little pot of bean water still on my stove, at the back of my stove, that I've forgotten about. So let's make a note of that. Don't forget bean water. What was I talking about? Oh, after I drained the bean water, I put enchilada sauce in the beans. I don't know if it helped or hurt the beans, but it turned out great. Also, I got canned serranos. I thought the canned serranos would be really like tamed, but they were super spicy. And I don't want to keep talking to you guys about food. I'm actually pretty hungry right now. I'm considering like what do I want to eat after stream. If my buddy wants to go out and eat, we'll go out and eat. But I want to have one of these ghost pepper chicken sandwiches from one of these places. Ghost pepper Whopper or chicken sandwich. Do I do Burger King or do I do Wendy's? Let me know in the comment below. Anyways, back to the beans. You know, they say beans, the magical fruit or musical fruit. Is it musical or magical? Beans, magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. And the more you toot, the better you feel. So let's eat beans for every meal. Have you guys ever, was I the only one who was in grade school? So basically beans make you fart. And I had one of the most fartable streams I've ever had in my life. I only ate a handful of beans. And I went into my little streaming, my living room in there. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for the stream, my microphone is located right next to the ground. So I had a couple of really nice toots where I just lift, like kind of turn slightly, face my butt towards the microphone, and you let one go. And sometimes you get a little, and then, everyone's let down, everyone says thumbs down and people start unsubscribing. But every once in a while, you get one of those good ones where the whole world is like, and then the crowd goes wild. Everyone's like supportive. It makes you feel like $1 million. In fact, yesterday, I think we were talking about how funny it would be. I watched a bunch of videos on pawn shops. I thought about how funny it would be if I were to pawn my microphone, which it was a really cheap microphone I just bought off Amazon, and it works great. If I were to pawn that microphone, but no one knows how many farts like, it's a microphone that sits far away. It doesn't sit close to me like this one. If you think about the next, aspiring rapper that happens to go to the pawn shop and buy that microphone, not knowing how many farts I've done onto it, and rappers get really close to the mic. I feel like that's just a funny thought. Kind of a gross thought. I think it's gross. Listen, I think when there's a person during COVID who goes into the grocery stores and licks all the ice creams and then puts the cap back on, I think that's fucking also gross. But is there the same degree of humor when I fart on a microphone and then give it to the pawn shop? I don't know. I think there'll be significantly less backlash. I feel like there's more rules when it comes to food than there is for microphones. I also think that licking and farting is two different things. I mean, who wants to fart on ice cream? Am I right? You're wasting your time if you're going from ice cream to ice cream, just farting on them and putting them back in the freezer. But I deleted TikTok. But if you guys are looking for some viral TikTok content, I would suggest something that's never been done: farting on the ice cream. Speaking of consumable things, I am still making prison wine. The Pruno is going great. I have, I think, 5 or 6 jugs currently fermenting. I just take these fruit juices, I add sugar, and then I add yeast. I shake it all up. I get this air filter on top. By the way, tell me if this is gross. I maybe shouldn't share this with everyone. Tell me if this is gross. I'm not going to tell anyone. I mean, I'm telling everyone right now, but no one in my real life is going to know. I have these air filters on the top, or airlocks on the top of each of the jugs of fruit juice. And what that does is it lets air escape without letting oxygen in. Because if too much oxygen gets in to the fermenting juices and sugars, it could cause like a mold or a bacteria, and we want to avoid that. We want to try and be generally as clean as we can without going. I mean, I'm not going to be as clean as like a regulated facility, but I try to make it pretty clean. Anyways, in the top of 3 3 of these airlocks, I found a fucking little fruit fly on 3 of them. I only have 6 of them out, but what changed is I filled the airlocks with usually vodka, and this time I ran out of vodka, so I filled them with water. And I guess the bugs can smell the sugar, and they can smell the carbon dioxide or whatever's coming out. So there was 3 bugs in my fermenting alcohol, although there was no way they touched alcohol. In fact, there's no way that even like the bug oxygen can only go one way out of the airlock. So I emptied all those, and I re-put the airlocks on. So I'm just saying there was a bug in the alcohol. I'm still gonna drink it. Okay, if you think about how the regulations are, isn't there something like that in America? Like there can be X amount of like rat feces in the ground beef, or like X amount of like dead bugs and shit. Is that like an old wives' tale, or is that real? Because first off, I don't give a fuck. First off, you can eat bugs. I've seen enough survival shows. Nothing wrong with eating a bug. They're probably good for you. But now I have the tops of the airlocks filled with vodka. There will be no more bugs in there. But I don't think that's something people should cry about, right? Like if I drop a Cheeto onto the ground of my carpet, like my carpet's dirty, my dog walks on there, but I'm not gonna fucking throw away that Cheeto. I'm gonna eat the Cheeto. Not because I'm trying to be a badass. It's because I know that the odds of anything bad happening from that Cheeto are very low. Much like the odds. First off, what I'm already making, I'm fermenting alcohol. There's already like a risk. There's already a risk in drinking that in general. One little fruit fly being in the airlock that doesn't even touch the alcohol is the least of my worries. So yeah, the Pruno's going good. I was just drinking some last night. I've decided that I only like 2 flavors. I only like really fermented cranberry, and then cranberry raspberry, and then like cranberry pomegranate. Anything else is not that good. You guys remember we did apple juice. I made this really awful bitter apple cider, and then we made our biggest mistake. I did one with cranberry watermelon. We fermented cranberry watermelon, which cranberry watermelon juice already doesn't sound very appetizing. So that came out terrible. Now we're only doing cranberry raspberry, cranberry pomegranate, and straight up cranberry juice. There's no like we've gone through the motions to make enough mistakes to where now I can start making alcohol and giving it to my friends. Also, if it was summertime, we got to figure out if there's enough or if there's a low enough alcohol content. I was thinking maybe popsicles, homemade alcoholic popsicles. I mean, sounds like $1 million idea. I could sell one to my friends in the summertime. I almost said I can go outside and sell them to kids, but that would be a complete felony. They would lock me up for the rest of my life. I feel like that's a big deal, right? Not only like if you get caught giving a beer to a kid, it's like contributing, right? But if you're making money off of it, I feel like that's got to be like a major felony. Then again, if you're fishing for beer, which if you guys don't know this term, I don't know if it's like an old man term. Before I was 21, every once in a while I would really want to drink a beer at like a special event. And I would try this technique all the time, and to no one's surprise, it never worked. I would go in there, I'd bring the beer, I'd pull out the money, and they'd say, "Can I see some ID?" And I'd be like, "Sure." And I'd hand them my ID, and I would hope that the person behind the counter would be too dumb to like look at the date, and they would just believe me. No, every single one of them got me every time. They're like, "Oh, you're 19." I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Yeah, you got to be 21 for beer." And then I would do this thing where as I walked out, I'd go, "Oh, I thought it was 18." like they know what I'm doing, but for some reason I would always give that one last like, "It's not my fault." Like to try to let them know that it's not my fault. Like, "Oh, I thought drinking age was 18. That's weird. My mistake. Hey, this is news to me." That never worked. So what I would do is I go outside and in the areas where I liked, I don't know what this says about me. In the areas where I liked to drink, there was never a shortage of homeless people. So I just go up to a homeless person. I'd say, "Hey, go in there and get me 2 211s. It's gonna cost you $3. Here's $5. You know, like you get yourself some beers, you get me some beers, and then we part ways. And it always worked out pretty good. And I would always give them just enough to where I can't get ripped off. You know, you can't do that with a 20. You can't be like, hey, go in there, get me 2 tall cans, here's a 20. Because by the time they come out, they're just gonna fucking leave. You're not gonna beat up a bum over a beer. You just gotta kind of eat that loss. Unless you're just a real piece of shit. So it's always important to have a pretty close amount of money. Yeah, Paul says, hey, mister. Hey, mister. Hey, mister. Hey, you over here. It's me. I'm an underage kid. Hey, mister. If you wouldn't mind, could you buy me some alcohol, mister? Oh, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you, mister. I don't know if that's how you would talk to them, but I feel that would be a great, like, YouTube prank. Dress up like you're from, like, the 60s. dress up like in a tie and like a really an oversized, like, brown suit jacket that goes all the way down, and like some pants, but the knees of the pants have like stitched in like pads where your knees have been scraped, and you have one of those like bowler hats, or what do you, like some weird, like, well, you guys know the hat, I don't know, some fucking old-timey hat. Hey, mister. Hey, read all about it. If you wouldn't mind, mister, could you spare some time and maybe go into this here store and get me some alcohol? Oh, man. That'd be great. Drawn on mustache. Oh, the joke just gets more and more unbelievable. Anyways, what were we even talking about? How did we even get to this topic? The Pruno and buying of the beer. I don't even know how we got to doing that, but yeah, the bums would buy me beer. Anyways, I have some questions for you guys. I know not everyone's a big hot sauce aficionado, but here's what happened. I explained this story to you guys last week. My new favorite thing to do is whenever there's a party, like a party, not like a kid's party, like an adult party, like let's say like a Thanksgiving, potluck, or Halloween. Nowadays, you get a certain age, all the parties involve food now. There's no more like, hey, dude, call some bitches. It's like, hey, dude, bring some fucking chicken wings. So now it's become a thing, like everyone brings like something good, and there's always one fucking dumbass who brings like macaroni salad, and you want them to fucking straight up die. You're like, dude, Mac, what the fuck? You could have brought mac and cheese, you brought mac salad. What are you trying to do? Fucking bother everybody? Just bring a bunch of junk food. Everyone wants to enjoy this. It's a party. It's not a fucking funeral. Anyways, I've been bringing hot wings, and I always put them in like a foil, and I've been writing these notes. I've done this twice in the past month, where I write this note, and I write, these wings are extremely hot. Like, be careful with these wings. And then I write, don't touch your dick or any other dick, and be careful with these wings. And then after you know, like 9 or 10 o'clock, people start getting a little buzzed, and everybody wants to be like the tough guy, like, oh, I'll try it. And then you get everyone who does the thing where, like, if you do it, I'll do it. If you eat one, I'll eat one. And then I'm just sitting in the background like, yes, I want them to die. I want you to get fucked up off these hot wings. And twice now, it's kind of backfired. So I watch the people eat the wings. They take a bite, you know, they go, wow, this is really spicy. And then they go, oh, wow, this is very hot. And then they go, that was good, I'll have another. And then I go, what? I just used the hottest sauce in my fridge. What do you mean you want another one? You're supposed to be rolling on the ground dying right now. And they're like, nope, I like spicy food. So the ratio so far, I'm trying to like kill people out there with these hot wings, and some people are actually enjoying it. So I need to up the ante right now. I was using Dave's Insanity original sauce. That is currently the hottest sauce in my fridge. Turns out it's only like 150,000 Scoville. I need something in the 500 range that I can get on Amazon for about $12. And so far I've landed on Dave's Carolina Reaper Insanity, but there's also one called like Dave's like Ultra Fuck. And then there's other brands called Blair's. And I was just curious if any of you guys have found or recently bought a extremely hot sauce off of Amazon that comes in a full-size bottle. I don't want a tiny dropper of extract because, listen, I want something that's going to actually really fuck you up, but not something that's going to give you cramps like 12 hours later. So there's got to be a middle ground. So if any of you guys are familiar with a hot sauce like that, especially one on Amazon, please let me know. Anyways, the ratio at those parties was like, if 5 people eat a wing, you know, 4 of them go, oh man, that was really hot, man. Whoa, I can't believe how hot that was. And then one person goes, no, I loved it. That was great. I'll eat all those. What the ratio that I want? Here's the ratio I want. I want 1 person out of every 5 to want to physically fight me. I want them to be so miserable that 1 out of 5 people goes, what the fuck, dude? Why would you do that? Why would you bring that shit? That's what I'm going for. And then the other 4, I want them to just be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So here's, if you go too far, I don't want to actually injure anyone's belly, because if you just straight up throw extract on this shit, you're gonna really hurt people. So anyways, yeah, the last sauce that I made was Dave's Insanity mixed with Last Dab, and then of course some Franks and some butter to dilute it a little bit. And it didn't kill people, man. I don't know. So if you're listening to this on YouTube and you have a recommendation, tell me the name of a hot sauce on Amazon that's you know, in like the $12 range. I found some on there, you know, like I found a Mad Dog Special Reserve for $22. I'm not paying $22 for 5 ounces of hot sauce, especially if I'm only going to be using this hot sauce at the most like once a month. So looking forward to your guys' recommendations. Can we do a trivia question real quick? Would you guys like to win a free Ninja Lifestyle sticker pack as long as you live in America? All you have to do is answer this trivia question correctly. And the question is this: according to the Guinness Book of World Records, what type of dog is the biggest dog? Like, what is the breed of the world's biggest dog? Roll Fast Joe says Clifford. Late Bloomer says my feet. Day Day says Dane. Late Bloomer says big dogs. Roll Fast says Great Dane. Day Day says Great Dane. I would have also accepted English Mastiff, Great Dane, either one of those. If one of you would have said Mastiff or Great Dane, that would have been the winner. Day Day said Dane, which is not the correct. I know where you were going with that. Roll Fast Joe is the winner. First off, Day Day wins every fucking week. Day Day has won trivia like 4 weeks in a row. So for once, we're going to say Roll Fast wins. Roll Fast after the podcast. Send me your address in a DM and I will get those stickers to you. The only reason I was accepting 2 answers is because I typed in world's biggest dog. Also, Clifford was not wrong. I typed in world's biggest dog. Turns out there's two ways to measure the biggest dog. They measure the height and length, I guess. And then they also measure the weight. So I guess the heaviest dog was an English Mastiff. And I guess the largest, like tallest dog was a 7 foot tall Great Dane named Zeus. And the other animal's name was Icama Zorba of La Susa. Whatever the fuck that means. Anyways, we give away stickers every single podcast. We are the only podcast on earth that gives away Ninja Lifestyle stickers this often. Can we talk a little bit about skating? I was skating Tuesday. I'm really sore. I skated on Tuesday and I'm still extremely sore. I don't know why that is. I think oftentimes I'm skating like I'm going up a ramp or trying to do some type of stall or a trick on a rail. I think this obstacle that I was skating on Tuesday, I was doing a trick and then rolling down a bank, and I spent so much time walking uphill. I think the incline has destroyed my quads. It's been 4 days, and I'm still extremely sore. Anyway, speaking of a war, I did a nollie shove, and it took me an embarrassing amount of time to land this nollie shove. For those of you who don't skate, it's a trick that's like very much on the easier side of the trick spectrum, and it gave me such a hard time. And as I always say, dude, skateboarding and getting old is it's depressing. It's hard. It's awful. It's not fun. And this is coming from someone who I'm not even getting hurt. Imagine how depressed I'll be if I break my fucking hand or my arm or something. My foot or a knee injury. Holy shit, I already have this fucking spine that's completely broken. Anyways, I was on Thrasher and I briefly watched a video of a guy who got, listen, this is the direction skateboarding is going. This guy got the cover of Thrasher for falling while dropping in. That's not a lie. He got the cover of the world's most popular and prestigious skateboarding magazine for dropping in and then falling into some water. Now, you guys can go look up the footage yourself for the photo. It is a really incredible photo, to be honest. But I listened to the dialogue where he explained why he was doing that. So basically, he climbed up this big statue that all it is a ramp that goes straight down into a fountain. So you drop in, which basically just means you're rolling. You're not even jumping, no ollie, no kickflip. He drops in, immediately falls, like doesn't even get to the water, falls, does a side flip, tumbles down, lands in the water, and that's the new bar where skateboarding is. You don't even have to land a trick. We used to make jokes about that when Jamie Thomas jumped down El Toro, and everyone was saying like, oh, the best trick in your video part is you falling? Oh, real impressive. Not only did you fall, you also did a melon on a street spot. Holy fuck, what a loser. Obviously he's not a loser. You know, I have a 0 tattoo across my entire ribs, but to put that in a video part, whatever, kind of, you know, like it should be in the credits, maybe, I guess, or something. So anyways, this guy drops in and he explains why. And he said something that was very telling that I can't wait to exploit next week on my second YouTube channel, Steve Hates Skating. He says, and I quote, actually I can't quote it because I don't know the exact thing. He sprained his ankle. He had a really bad ankle injury. So he wasn't able to do actual hard skateboarding tricks. So he says, well, my ankle was sprained, so I couldn't do any real tricks. So I was just going to spots where I could do roll-on grinds, which a roll-on grind is a new, really popular trend in skating right now, where people find these skate spots where they don't have to ollie. All they can do is roll onto a grind. And I don't know, like, obviously it's because skaters are getting less and less talented, or like the middle class of skating is getting less and less talented, and the elites are getting more and more elite. This professional skater who has the cover of Thrasher, I love this saying, by the way, he said the quiet parts out loud. He told the world that the reason he's only doing these weird tricks is because they're easier. He finally said that. No one else in skating will admit that. They'll say roll-on grinds are more fun. They can be just as technical as ollieing into a trick. You won't understand. You don't ever do them. And now finally, a top pro has accidentally said the quiet part out loud. He said, my foot was injured, so I just started doing drop-ins and roll-on grinds. So basically, he just put the entire city of San Francisco, like, on the chopping block and said, hey, the reason that you guys are only doing easy and shitty tricks is because they're easy and shitty. If I had a healthy ankle, I would go back to real skating, but since I'm injured, I will now stoop to the level of everyone skating in San Francisco. And I think that's hilarious. And I can't wait to make a video about that eventually. What else is going on? TV shows. I started a series last night. I'm not really into anime or like cartoons, but whatever. I just clicked some shit. It said like top rated like show of the day. I clicked something called Blue Eye Samurai. And I clicked it thinking, okay, this is going to be background noise. I'm not going to be interested in this. I watched it for 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, this is actually really cool. It's really beautifully animated. You know, I don't know how to explain it. It's like 3D, but you can tell it's not like CGI, but like half of the backgrounds look real. Like everything's really well textured and all the lighting is crazy. Really cool show. And I had this issue as I was watching it. I'm watching this show, 15 minutes. I'm listening. I'm like, okay, the only part I don't understand is why this dude sounds like a girl. And then I watch it for another 15 minutes. I'm like, dude, yeah, it certainly sounds like a girl. And it's like, it's telling two stories, right? It's telling the story of this girl who's trying to become a blacksmith, and then it tells the story of this dude who's trying to become a samurai and kill somebody. And you're like, okay, like what? How are these connected? I don't understand. This chick's becoming a blacksmith. This dude's fucking killing everybody at the dojo. The animation is great. What's going on? And then at the end, you find out it's like, it's like, first off, the worst thing the big enemy, the big enemy in this show is white people. So I'm watching it like, what the fuck, man? What, white people are the problem? That's bullshit, man. And then I get halfway, like I get to the end, and turns out the girl who is a blacksmith actually turns into the samurai who is still a girl, but everyone thinks is a dude because she wears this big like samurai outfit. No one can see her tits. No one knows that it's a chick. So I'm like, okay, like this is why I was confused the whole time. And then also the show's called Blue Eye Samurai. Dude, she's so mad. The chick is so angry that she has blue eyes and that one of her parents is white. And she's so angry that she has one white parent that she's gonna go and kill people and punish and kill people. I thought it was such an interesting concept, and I think I'm gonna finish the series. I think it's eight episodes, and each episode's about an hour. So I'm gonna watch I'm gonna end up by the end of this week. I'm gonna end up watching an 8-hour fucking anime, and I'll let you guys know next week how I enjoyed it. Final topic of the day. Last night we were watching highlights of a show called Married with Children, and although most of the people in my chat are kind of generally around the same age as me, there's a couple of people who are younger, and they have no like memory of the show Married with Children. And I was trying to explain it, and this is also something you guys can help me with in the chat and maybe in the YouTube comments. How do you explain Married with Children to someone who doesn't have like a reference? So I was like, okay, like I tried to explain. I'm like, okay, it's like Three's Company, and then I'm like, fuck, dude, Three. If you don't know what Married with Children is, there's no way you know what Three's fucking company is. So then I'm like, it's like fuck, I don't know. It's like South Park, or like kind of like Family Guy, but like more edgy. It's about like a family that all like loves each other, but all they do is talk shit and insult each other. The husband hates his life and often jokes about suicide. He jokes about how much he hates his wife and how disgusting sex is with her. When their neighbors come over, even though their neighbors are like friendly, all they do is just talk shit about their neighbors. Like he thinks his neighbor's wife is like the biggest piece of shit ever. Always makes fun of her small tits. And then he works at a shoe store, and all he does is make fun of fat women. And you're like, fuck, I can't explain this. And his daughter's like a fucking half prostitute. His son is like completely like has no brain at all. Just complete brain dead idiot. And I like you try to explain that, but then you're like, but then there's a laugh track. And I don't know if they film it in front of like a live audience or something, but then there's like laughter and weird pauses. And there's I couldn't figure out a way, like a metaphor to explain to someone younger than me what Married with Children would kind of be like that we have today. So I figured that would be kind of a fun exercise for you guys, either in the comments or in the YouTube comments or the chatters right now. If you guys can think of some way to explain that. Late Bloomer says like Boondocks. Are you saying like Boondocks like the Adult Swim Boondocks? Or are you thinking like Boondock Saints? Or is there a Boondocks that I'm not familiar with? I don't know. I remember Boondock Saints, but that clearly must be the wrong reference, because that has nothing to do with Married with Children. Can you imagine just Al Bundy comes out and says some shit in Latin, Veritas, whatever, motherfucker, and like farts on the enemy, and then they fall out of a window? Can you imagine if instead of Boondock Saints, it was just Al Bundy and fucking Peggy going killing all the criminals in the city? Oh, now that would be a show. That would be a great show. Anyways, I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the comments. By the way, that's all I have for you guys today. If you missed the first half of our podcast, you can always watch it again. It comes out on Sunday, just in time for you to go to work. It comes out on Sunday, early in the morning, usually 6 a.m., 7 a.m. on Podbean, on Spotify, on podcast app, anywhere where they have podcasts, you should be able to catch it. And also on YouTube, youtube.com/Ninja Lifestyle. We do this podcast every single Friday, right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on twitch.tv/Ninja Lifestyle. Can I get a oh hell yeah from those of you who hung out until the end of the podcast? I'd love to shout everybody out. Also, extra big shout out. Last night was crazy. We broke my coffee table. That's what happens during the late night Twitch streams. I break my furniture whenever you guys, I don't know, donate to the stream or support the stream. I always love when you guys support the stream. I know not everybody has a bunch of money to throw away to some guy they've never even met. But what you can do if you want to support is tell a friend about the podcast. But right now, I would like to thank Venus Die Traps for resubscribing. I would like to thank Toronto Toad Bro, for 25 gift subs last night, which ends up being like, that's like $75, or it might even be more. What's 25 times 5? 250. I don't know. It's a lot of fucking money. And then Shifty Shylock donated 75 or 70. Wait, 70 or 50 gift subs. It was going nuts last night. So I wanted to shout out those guys. I wanted to shout out Toad and also Shifty Shylock for the crazy support last night, man. It was a really fun stream, and if you guys aren't checking out my my weekday streams, or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, they're kind of late. They usually start around 8 or 9 p.m. and then go until 1 or 2 in the morning sometimes. But oftentimes, you know, you get to watch me. I guess this kind of sounds lame. You get to watch me watch YouTube, but it's not only that. We're laughing. We're playing games. We play Quiplash. We play What the Dub. Sometimes I play games on there. I break furniture. We watch survival shows. I get drunk in front of you guys. You guys get to see me slowly go from like normal and rational to screaming about something that's insignificant because I'm drunk and like passionately angry about some random fucking YouTube video. So sometimes that's fun, and we get to smoke the W. Smoke the W on stream, and if you play your cards right on just certain occasions, maybe there's even a mushroom involved. I don't know. I can't say if that's true or not. I don't know. Abracadabra, officers. I can't say if that's true or not. So, anyways, that's all I got for the podcast. I hope all of you guys have a great weekend. And as I always say, don't drink too much and don't drink too little. If anyone farts into some ice cream, I will send you a sticker pack. If you fart into ice cream and put it on TikTok.